Hey guys, and welcome back to the SC Reports podcast. I'm your host, Stevan Cyrus. Ladies and gentlemen, it is good to be back. Thank you so much for the support on the first video I dropped. Yeah, guys, thanks. I'm almost at 100 subscribers. I literally have my social blade open, waiting for it to hit 100. So, guys, without further ado, let's get into the news from today. So, what I missed yesterday really quickly, the Jazz have shown interest in signing point guard Deron Williams. Now, you guys know Deron Williams. A few years ago, he was fantastic. He was literally one of the top point guard prospects in the league. Injuries kind of got up to him, and, he kind of just started to just make it on a team, but I think this would be a good move for the Jazz. I think having a veteran point guard like Deron Williams, who's kind of done it all and sometimes can step up and still produce some assists and some points here and there, I think that that's something that the Jazz could use right now. So it'll be interesting to see what they do and how they would make that deal work. Also, we're talking about Shabazz Muhammad from the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Washington Wizards have shown some interest in him. So, first off, you can say, well, the Wizards do need a little bit more scoring help. Shabazz Muhammad is one of those guys where sometimes he really steps up and he gives you that. And I think playing in Washington, it would kind of be the same, right? He can sneakily put in some points because he's not going to be the main focus. Obviously, with John Wall, Bradley Beal, Marjane Gortat, Otto Porter Jr., he's not going to be like top 3 in the offense. He's still going to be a solid piece. I think he could be a key piece in that second unit if given a chance. So, also in the news, sound like Keevesdar. According to league sources, the Rockets have expressed interest in acquiring guard Iman Shumpert from the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cavs have actually shown interest in Patrick Beverley. And that's not it. The Chicago Bulls have also showed some interest, as well as the Knicks. So, Beverley is a hot commodity right now. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know. I feel like Shumpert is good where he is. He would be kind of trading roles. I don't think, he would be going there to produce more points. I mean, Houston does not need help scoring. They got a lot of scores. Also adding Lou Williams, as I said yesterday, they have no problems with scoring whatsoever. So I don't think this deal is going to get done. I think Iman Shumpert is going to stay put. If Patrick Beverley is to get shopped, probably New York. That's where I'm guessing. I think New York probably wants to find a point guard. But, I don't know. So moving on, the New York Knicks forward Carmelo Anthony said he was feeling relaxed Thursday, and saying that he hasn't heard anything and he's falling asleep and getting ready to prepare for his game against the Cavs. So, I mean, Carmelo is pretty confident he is not going anywhere, and I believe he's not going to go somewhere. Like, if he goes anywhere, it's Boston. He already has all the power. And he said the only team that he would waive his no-trade clause for is the Boston Celtics. So I don't see that happening. Boston's already looking at Paul George or Jimmy Butler. And we'll get to Paul George because that's big news. So, yeah, guys, I don't think Carmelo is going to leave. I think he's going to stay put where he is right now with New York. Probably going to get traded in the summer, though. And here's a trade that actually went through. The Brooklyn Nets have traded Bojan Bogdanovic and Chris McCullough to the Washington Wizards in exchange for Andrew Nicholson, Marcus Thornton, and a lottery-protected 2017 first-round pick. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, Chris McCullough, don't know much about him. Bojan Bogdanovic, on the other hand, pretty solid person coming off your bench. I think that he can definitely help this team in Washington. They need a scorer. I think that he can definitely play that role for the Washington Wizards. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they use him. He's probably going to be in that second unit. As I said, the second unit really needs help. And I think that addresses this with Bojan being the main person in this deal. I think Chris McCullough was just a throw-in. And Andrew Nicholson, the Canadian, and Marcus Thornton going to the Brooklyn Nets. This is just the Nets cleaning house, pretty much getting rid of anybody that they might have to pay serious money, and just bringing in just either a young prospect in Andrew Nicholson, who could have a pretty good end of the season if he gets a good run, and Marcus Thornton, who's just the veteran sharpshooter. So we're going to see what happens there. The lottery pick is protected, so I mean, it's not even confirmed that they will get it. So following up on the Detroit Pistons, on the other hand, they now believe that, Reggie Jackson won't be able to go to Orlando. They have stopped that and have now said that Reggie Jackson is safe. On the other hand, now Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is now on the shopping block, and Andre Drummond is still on the shopping block. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Andre Drummond. Again, I really don't think that they're that stupid to trade Andre Drummond. The Pistons are being a little bit, very impatient. And I think if they're patient, I think if they continue to look at some prospects, possibly get another good scorer on that team, this team can make some noise. So I don't see why they would want to trade Drummond and start all over again. Kentavious, on the other hand, he has been a little bit inconsistent. I can see why he's on the shopping block, but again, it's weird because sometimes he just goes on those runs where you're like, he's about to, hit that corner and he's about to blossom, and then he kind of takes some steps back. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Kentavious, and they better not trade Andre Drummond. Here's another trade that is pretty much confirmed at this point. Ersan Ilyasova is on his way to the Atlanta Hawks in exchange for Tiago Splitter, and the Hawks also send a future second round pick and will give the 76ers swap rights on another second round pick as part of the deal. So, it's another trade here. Ersan Ilyasova, he's been one of those guys throughout his whole career that can always score. And now he's going to join a Hawks team, which I believe, again, most of these guys that I'm talking about today are second unit players. The Hawks already have their starting five. He's going to help bring more points to that second unit. And he's averaging 14 points with 2 made three-pointers, averaging 2 threes per game this season. So, this is something that I think every single Eastern Conference team is doing, because they know that the Cavs, when they get Love back, it's going to be very, very difficult. Everybody's preparing for the Cavs. So they definitely did need to make this move. Now, Atlanta, I don't see what you're doing. It's very, very confusing what they've done over these last few months. But again, they're trying to go for the playoff spot again. So we'll see what happens there. And guys, I believe that's it. One more thing I wanted to talk about is Paul George. Now, obviously, his name, very, very, very big today. And the big news is that the Indiana Pacers are actually actively looking for people who want to trade for Paul George, the franchise right now. And Magic Johnson and Larry Bird have been talking. Look at that rivalry. It went from the basketball court to suits now, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Paul George. So, I just don't think that he's going to go to the Lakers, though. It would be a great move, but I don't see how the Lakers, at this point, they're going to have to give up their pick, for sure. That's going to be worth pretty much a lot. And they're going to have to break up that young core. There is no way that the Pacers are going to be as stupid as the Kings to ask for, Timofey Mozgov and a few picks, right? That's not going to happen. Julius Randle has to be in that trade. Jordan Clarkson, D'Angelo Russell, one of those guys are going to be in that trade. Maybe even Brandon Ingram. Who knows, There is no way, I said it 3 times, that they are going to get Paul George in a Laker uniform without destroying the young core that I said and I believe can be the best in the West in the next 5 to 6 years after Golden State and everybody ages. So that is pretty much all the news from today. Not a lot has happened. We only had 2 confirmed trades, which was the Ilyasova and Thiago Splitter one. We had the Bozan Bogdanovic going to the Wizards. And that's pretty much been it, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. And again, thank you for the love that you've been showing me. It's been fantastic. I'm almost at 100 subscribers. Yesterday, I think I was at 92. Now I'm at 99. Thank you for that. If there's anything you want improved, let me know. Because I usually don't do big podcasts like this. So I don't know if I'm being too monotone sometimes. I get the good work, which I appreciate. But again, if you have any feedback, let me know. And I'll try and implement that in. Do you enjoy the music in? Does it help flow the conversation? Or would you just prefer my dead voice? Let me know in the comment section below. Share it with your friends. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you tomorrow with yet another NBA trade rumors and predictions. Peace.